Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. Today, I wanted to talk about Minecraft, Mojang, Microsoft, the 3Ms, and specifically how their relationships with each other have really changed Minecraft as a game. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, let me know in the comments what you thought about my opinions, and without further ado, I'd like to get into the video. Minecraft is a sandbox game that was developed and published by Mojang Studios in 2011. It allows players to build and explore in an infinite world made up of blocks and resources that they can mine and gather. The game has become a cultural phenomenon, selling over 200 million copies and inspiring countless spin-offs and imitators. It has been praised for its creative and educational value, with many players still using it as a tool for problem solving, learning, and self-expression. Despite its simple graphics, Minecraft has captured the imagination of millions of players around the world, making it one of the most successful video games of all time. However, since the acquisition of Mojang and subsequently Minecraft in 2014, the game's quality has apparently gone down. Most players I've spoken to seem to believe that Mojang was better off when the game had full creative control over Minecraft, as opposed to more budget. Despite being one of the most popular video games of all time, with over 91 million monthly active players, the acquisition of Minecraft by Microsoft has had a number of negative effects on the game. One of the most significant negative impacts of the acquisition has been the change in the game's community. Prior to being acquired by Microsoft, Minecraft had a thriving and vibrant community, where players could connect to each other, share their creations, and collaborate on projects. Many members of the community have expressed concerns with the way that Microsoft has handled the game. There have been numerous complaints about the changes to the game's mechanics, the introduction of new features that many players find unbalanced, and the general feeling that the game has become less community-focused. This has resulted in a decline in the sense of community and a loss of the social aspect of the game that made it so popular in the first place. Namely, there are two factors to blame for this. One of the factors being a divide between Bedrock and Java versions. Granted, there have been some attempts to seal the fissure between the two versions, such as Mojang developers making Bedrock and Java editions free with the purchase of one another. The issue still remains that players are very protective over the versions that they like more, and this causes the community to be very spread apart in terms of interactions. Mojang doesn't seem to do much to help either. They refuse to make features synonymous with the game, constantly crying, "It's too hard to code," whilst also being one of, if not the most popular video games in the world. There's no reason that the developers can't have slightly better communication, or maybe, just maybe, add swapping armor from your hotbar into Java Edition. I digress, wishful thinking. The other reason that the community tends to be so divided is the PvP systems in the game. It has since been privated, but about a year ago, I made a video about the PvP systems in Minecraft.
What's going on, guys? It's Ab2, and welcome back to another episode on my channel.
And I stated that I prefer 1.8.9 PvP over 1.9. While I don't have such concrete beliefs anymore, having played both versions more and realizing that both PvP systems have features that make them enjoyable, I still secretly prefer 1.8.9. The problem arises with other players, however. Some players feel so strongly about their preferred system that they go out of their way to make it their entire personality. They go out of their way in every situation to remind other players that their preferred system is inferior. This, coupled with the game version dilemma, is why the community is divided more than ever. Obviously, every community has its own subsections that make it what it is, but Minecraft's community being as big as it is, needs to support each other more and not be as toxic of a space. Another negative impact of the acquisition is the way that Microsoft has monetized the game. Prior to the acquisition, Minecraft was available for a one-time purchase price and there were no additional fees that were required to play the game. However, since the acquisition, Minecraft has introduced a number of additional monetization methods, including paid skins, maps, and mods, features that would be free on Java Edition, which causes even more community divide. While these additional monetization methods have obviously helped generate additional revenue for Microsoft, they've also caused frustration among many players who feel that they are now being forced to pay more for the game that they love. Furthermore, the acquisition of Minecraft by Microsoft has also resulted in a decline in the level of innovation in the game. Prior to the acquisition, Mojang Studios was known for being a highly innovative studio, and Minecraft was seen as a game that pushed the boundaries of what was possible for a sandbox game. However, since the acquisition, many players have expressed concerns that Microsoft has become too focused on maximizing profits and as a result has shifted its focus away from the innovation and creativity. This has led to a decline in the level of excitement and anticipation that players once had for new updates and features of the game. These facts, coupled with the decline in update quality, and Minecraft is falling into obscurity. Minecraft used to be known for its frequent and substantial updates that added a variety of new features and gameplay elements such as new mobs, biomes, blocks, and items. In recent years, however, the updates have become less frequent and less substantial, often consisting mostly of bug fixes and minor tweaks to existing content. This has left many players feeling unsatisfied with the game as they're not being given the new and exciting content that they've come to expect from Minecraft. Many people argue that because the game has gotten bigger and more successful, and therefore much larger of an audience, the developers are making smaller updates more focused towards tweaks and small inconsequential changes because they don't want to throw off the balance of the player base and the game. To this, I have to offer the defense that while this might be true to some extent, the fact that the game is bigger and that Mojang was acquired by Microsoft only enables Mojang to make bigger and more ambitious updates, rather than taking 3 years to add one new structure and a quote-unquote new biome and a couple of mobs. This new archaeology update that everyone is freaking out about is pretty dumb in my opinion. I don't really understand why everyone is so impressed. Like, sure, they made armor look cooler, and they might add decorative pots to the game, but when are we getting a new boss or a dimension rework? It's been years since I've seen something like that. People like to argue repetitively that Mojang devs are just overworked and can't manage to make a big game with consistent updates in little time. To that, I have multiple rebuttals. For one, Mojang is a multi-billion-dollar company. They should be able to afford to pay more developers to make a higher quality game, rather than whatever mediocre nonsense they've been putting out recently. Additionally, Mojang has shown in the past that they are capable of making good updates, with the Nether update and Village and Pillage update being two of the best updates the game has gotten in my opinion. In these updates, Mojang has completely reworked two features of the game, being villagers in the Nether, making them more useful and more mainstream for gameplay and less like a chore to interact with. Additionally, people have expressed disappointment with Minecraft's graphical changes recently. Minecraft has always had a unique, blocky aesthetic, which has always been one of its defining features. However, in recent updates, the game has introduced new, more realistic textures and graphics, which many players feel detract from the game's charm and do not fit with the overall style. This has led to a split in the player base, with some players preferring the new graphics and others preferring the classic blocky style. If Mojang doesn't want to make the game fully realistic and rework the entire game's graphics, then they should at least try to make the pixelated blocky graphics consistent with one another. Finally, the lack of communication from the developers has also contributed to a decline in quality in recent Minecraft updates. In the past, developers have been very active and engaging with the player community, soliciting feedback and suggestions, and providing updates on what they're working on. In recent years, the developers become less active and less communicative, which has led to a growing sense of frustration and dissatisfaction among players. With Mojang not listening to players and in mine and a lot of other people's opinions completely botching the cave update, it really demonstrates how important it is for companies to have good communication with their following, even after becoming big feature games. Take a game like Terraria, for example. Terraria is a game that is developed so excellently that I use it as an example for any other games company in terms of communication with fans. Developers are very active on social media, and they talk to fans often, responding to comments, forum posts, etc. In most updates, Terraria tries to add optimizations that players asked for alongside bigger things like new bosses and enemies. Mojang needs to learn how to be more involved with their community because in my opinion, following their most recent decision, Minecraft is next on the chopping block. The recent changes made by Mojang to its chat filtering policies have generated significant controversy and backlash from its users. Many players have expressed their dislike of these new policies, citing from a range of reasons that have contributed to their dissatisfaction. One of the main reasons why people dislike the new Mojang chat filtering policies is because they feel like players are overly restrictive and limit their freedom of speech. Players argue that the filters are overly aggressive and are prevented from expressing themselves freely. They feel that the new policies are an infringement of their rights and they are unfairly targeted. Many players have also reported that the filters are not even effective in catching all forms of inappropriate content, leaving some players feeling frustrated and disrespected. One other reason why people dislike new Mojang chat filtering policies is that they feel the policies are intrusive and disrupt their gaming experience. Many players argue that the filters interrupt the flow of a conversation and make it difficult for them to communicate freely with others. They also feel that the filters are disruptive and take away from the overall enjoyment of the game. Some players have also reported that the filters are slow to respond, leading to delays in communication and causing frustration. A third reason why people dislike the new Mojang chat filtering policies is that they feel that the policies are inconsistent and arbitrary. Some people argue that the filters are not applied consistently and that they're being unfairly penalized for expressing themselves. They feel that the filters are inconsistent on their enforcement, leading to confusion and mistrust among players. One should not be forced to speak like a toddler in their own Minecraft server. Look, it would be one thing if Mojang was only doing this in Bedrock Edition, a version that has supported multiplayer by Mojang, and therefore Mojang ultimately gets to decide what happens on those servers, but Mojang has also decided to enforce these rules in Java Edition. This version does not support multiplayer, and the decision to force players to pay external services to make the server in the first place, and then telling them that they don't have full control over the server that they pay for is unfair in a lot of people's eyes. TLDR, the decline in quality in recent Minecraft updates has been a source of disappointment in many players. The lack of new content, chat filtering policies, changes to graphics, and lack of communication from the developers have all contributed to this decline. While Minecraft remains a popular and enjoyable game, it is clear that many players feel that the recent updates have fallen short of their expectations, and that improvements are needed in order to maintain the game's relevance and popularity. Prior to the acquisition, Microsoft... That is like the fourth time I've done that. I keep saying Microsoft instead of Minecraft. It's 3 M's. There's Microsoft, there's Mojang, and there's Minecraft. I'm going to lose it. I'm going to actually lose it. Oh my god.